Hey everyone, it's Bill here from Cambodia. It's the day before I leave for Cambodia. And I figured I would do one more video before I leave. It's basically about preparing to move to Cambodia. And I just want to go over a few things and stuff that I think might help you if it's something you're considering doing and don't really know where to start. So, first off, you're going to need to know about visas. I would check out a website called movetocambodia.com. There's also an ebook called Move to Cambodia, which I suggest getting, made by the author of the website. And from what I've seen, they keep the visa information and other information pretty current. And it does change a lot. It changes fast. And if you've watched any videos or seen anything that says, hey, don't worry about getting a work permit. People work, teach here all the time without it. No, don't, that's not good advice anymore. Now, if you don't get a work permit, it's $10 a day for every day that you work without a permit. Imagine that over a year. No, no fun. So be on top of that kind of stuff. And that website has a lot of stuff. Sorry, the message popped up. Anyway, and then you want to decide where to go in Cambodia. Of course, Phnom Penh has the most opportunity, the most jobs, all of that kind of stuff. And then second to that is Siem Reap. Now, I was strongly considering starting out in Phnom Penh rather than Siem Reap because there's just more, there's more of everything there. And I ended up choosing Siem Reap because Dave actually gave me some good advice about this. He said, you want to live where you're happy because you're only spending so many hours working. What about the rest of the time? And what I was doing when I was looking at both places is I have an Oculus Rift. And so I was using Google Earth VR. And I would go in there and I'd go into the 360 view and I'd be like looking around at everything, And when I was in Phnom Penh, it just seemed it was like buildings, 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 and a lot of traffic and hectic and loud and noisy and just, there was no space and it was just like, it was just so city-like, and it's a fairly big city. Then I would look at Siem Reap and there's like less traffic and it's more spread out and there's nature everywhere. And I looked at that and I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be. And so I chose that. And there's not as many jobs as Phnom Penh, but it's second only to Phnom Penh. So you got to make your own choices of where you want to live. There, you can get jobs at other places too, but just there's not as much opportunity. So research the cities. Definitely if you plan to teach English, get a TEFL, Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate at the minimum. Even if you have a degree, unless it's specifically in education, get yourself a TEFL. There's a lot of sites out there. I used one called ITTT, and I'll provide a link in the description. And they're what I used. I can't really compare them to anyone else because I haven't used anyone else. I would say do your own research. Getting airfare. There's a lot of good sites. There's Kayak, Vayama, things like that. I actually found my best deal on Google Flights. They kind of aggregate a lot of different other websites, and I found my best deal there. And one thing I would recommend, if you're not living in a hub city, a coastal hub city like LA or San Francisco or Seattle or something like that, buy the ticket from your home city to the hub city separate from the ticket I would buy a ticket from a hub and just do a lot of research, check out the prices from different hubs to Phnom Penh or Siem Reap or wherever you're going. And what I ended up doing is getting a flight from Tucson, where I am, to LAX, and then LAX it stops in Taipei, Taiwan, then goes to Phnom Penh, and then I'm using Cambodia Angkor Air to get down to Siem Reap. It's just what turned out to be the best deal when I was looking. I would suggest using an incognito window in Chrome because a lot of websites like to pull little tricks where in their cookies they're like, oh, we see you've searched this before. Let's raise the prices and create a little fear. Yeah, that's not cool. So use an incognito window. Some people have suggested even using a VPN, virtual private network. They're usually under $10 a month. I have one for just because, and I used one when I was searching, and I'm not sure if it helped or not. I tried with both, and I didn't see a terrible bit of much difference, but that was also because I was using a incognito window. So, as far as saving money, simplifying your life, getting frugal before you go, one book that's really helped me out is Vagabonding by Rolf Potts, Rolf Potts, Vagabonding. Check that out. One of the best books I've read. I've considered it one of my top 3 in general in life anyway, because even if you're not traveling, it has some really good life advice. So check that out. Learning Khmer. I suggest at least learning basic greetings, learning the numbers, and learning basic haggling language, and a few phrases. There's like Talaina, that's like, oh, so expensive. And learn the numbers so that you can haggle better, and you will get better prices if you try a little Khmer. Come up and greet them like Sorsadai, Soksabai Bong, whatever, saying hello, greetings, and how you doing. And if you can haggle, especially if you haggle in real, the local currency, I have heard you can get better prices than just basic tourist prices. Because if you just show up speaking English and not even trying, yeah, they're going to charge you more because it's like, oh, here's another tourist just here for their own personal gratification. They don't care. They're not even trying. So try. And to learn Khmer, I would suggest a channel called Dara Yin. He has a series of videos called 100 Common Khmer Words, I think it is. Just go to his channel. I'll have a link down there. And search his channel specifically for 100 words. I've found it that way. And there's like 5 videos. And you end up getting a lot more than 100 words because for each word he's teaching, he gives an example sentence and gives you the meaning of each of those other words. And so you end up getting a lot more than 100 words. It's really good. I've heard that if you go to Siem Reap, I don't know if they have it in Phnom Penh, but I've heard really good things about a company called Speak Like Khmer, and which I plan to use when I get there so I can learn some more. There's also a site called Bongthom, Bongthom.com. And they also have, if you're going to Phnom Penh, they have classifieds, they have jobs lists, they have real estate lists, things like that. So they are a very good resource overall if you're going there. But they have a section for Khmer language in a lot of different categories. And I think they even have a little thing you can press to hear it. So that's a good resource. And let's see. I suggest getting on a bunch of different Facebook groups, especially for the ones in the city you choose to go to. The ones that are just Cambodia are generally like 99% going to be Phnom Penh focused because that's the big place. But there's several groups for Siem Reap, and so I would suggest checking those out. I'll put links to some of the ones I've joined. And there's good real estate groups, there's buying and selling groups, there's expat groups, there's a whole bunch of stuff like that. I would say when you're doing your research, you may come across a site called Khmer440.com. I don't recommend it because I've found it to be less than helpful. I found it to be populated by a bunch of really snarky, jaded expats who hate Cambodia and who, think just everyone's out to get you. And it's really hard to get a straight answer out of everyone. They just want to troll people as well, and it's just useless. There's some okay information there if you dig hard enough, but it's not anything you can't get elsewhere. So, it's not worth your time. There's some other YouTubers I want to suggest. There's a bunch out there, but three that come to mind. There's Halfway Around the World, a guy up in Phnom Penh. He's a teacher. Really smart guy. Really seems to have his head on straight. Good, good channel. Check his out. I'll have links below for these ones I'm mentioning. Cambo Vlogs is a really interesting one. This guy, he's not a teacher, but he's spent a good portion of his life in Cambodia, including growing up for several years there, and he speaks fluent Khmer. Recently, his videos have been almost exclusively in Khmer, but there's still a lot of older videos in English with a lot of good information, and I do suggest looking through them. There's also Cambodian Exploits. That guy is going to Japan soon, but he's very kind of mild-mannered, very dry sense of humor, very pragmatic. Good. He's a smart guy too, and I suggest his videos as well. If you want to find apartments, there's a few sites. I won't go through all of them. I'll put some down below as well as in the Facebook links. But when you're looking for apartments, you need to decide on what your comfort level is to you. And for me, I don't need a lot. I'm going to just get a under $200 a month Khmer style apartment, which usually means you get a big bed. Sometimes you get some furniture like a couch or maybe a little desk. Some of these, a lot of these apartments will have a flat screen TV for you. You know, that's cool. I can get one myself there too, if they don't have it. For the kitchen, they usually have a sink and some counter space, and hopefully a little storage. Some of them include a little burner, things like that you can use, but it's very simplistic. There's generally not an oven or an actual range or anything like that, or a microwave. And I don't plan to really nuke anything or bake anything. You know, I'm just going to get a wok and a pot and a burner and cook that way. The bathrooms generally are kind of small, and there's a little shower head thing, like not a separate shower, but just like a shower unit on the wall. And, you know, you spray yourself down and it all runs down into a little drain. And, you know, it will probably get the rest of the bathroom wet. Some are arranged a little differently to avoid that, but that's common, just so you know. You can get Western style apartments that will cost more, around the range of $400 and up, I would say, so that you can have all the comforts of home. Well, some of the comforts of home. Because it's still going to be hot as hell. Oh, and fans. You want fans and you want AC. You may not use the AC much, but there will probably be days when you'll want it. That's about all I can think of right now. If there's anything else that you can think of that you'd like me to cover as far as preparation goes, because I'm not there yet and I can't give much advice about what it's really like yet, ask. And if it's something I have any inkling of, I'll answer it for you. And if it's something I don't know, if I can find someone who does know, I'll point you in that direction. Anyway, I'm Bill. This is Cambodia. If you would be so kind as to like and subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. You have a great day.